Reacher Season 4 is literally filming right now. Season 3 of Amazon Prime's best action series is going to be pretty hard to top. But from what we know about Lee Child's next book in the series, Season 4 might just live up to the task. Us Reacher fans kind of thought the Season 3 villain, Zachary Beck's 7-foot-tall bodyguard, would be the most challenging opponent for our protagonist. But with Season 4 being set in the Big Apple, we already know Reacher wasn't gonna get off easy this time around. And it looks like Beck is going to be dethroned as Reacher's most intimidating bad guy to date. So let's dive into what exactly Season 4 of Reacher will be based on, what we think will happen, and how this new villain is going to test Jack unlike ever before. Quick warning, we are discussing the book Season 4 is based on, meaning some of the plot points and characters discussed may very well become spoilers. As I mentioned, Season 4 of Reacher will be based on Lee Child's book, just like the previous seasons of the series. This time, the plot is pulled from Child's book titled Gone Tomorrow. Now, while the book is considered one of the author's best, some fans are worried about how outdated it is, and how it can be successfully adapted to a modern-day Jack Reacher story. For example, here's your last spoiler warning. Bin Laden is revealed to be the primary antagonist in Gone Tomorrow, at least behind the scenes. Now, it's not that Bin Laden isn't considered a well-known name in today's society, but fans wonder if a modern-day villain will be used instead to replace him. After all, Amazon Prime's Reacher series is based in modern times. So, in order to use the exact same villain as the books, Reacher would have to magically exist in two separate decades at once. Back in April, we learned that filming and release would be pushed back as Frances Neagley would be receiving her very own spin-off series, which would be using the same crew as Reacher. However, on June 7, Neagley wrapped, and in late May, Reacher star Alan Ritchson posted that he had just started his training for the Season 4 stunts. And now, in the fall of 2025, Reacher is officially filming in Philadelphia. Alright, so first of all, how do I know Season 4 will be based on Gone Tomorrow? Well, a while back, Alan Ritchson shared a photo of him holding Child's book, along with the caption, "Reacher Season 4 will be based on Gone Tomorrow by Lee Child." So, there you go. Like I said, Gone Tomorrow may be a bit outdated, but is still considered the best of the Jack Reacher series, so I am so excited for Season 4. For those of us that haven't read the Reacher books, what can we expect from Season 4? Well, it's actually pretty intense. Not to say that Jack hasn't encountered some seriously scary big bads in the past, but this one is just different. I mean, the primary antagonist of the book is literally one of the most infamous terrorists in US history, so yeah, I'd say this is going to be Jack Reacher's most challenging mission yet. In an opening arc to the book, Jack Reacher notices a suspicious woman on the New York subway at 2 a.m. To determine if the woman is a suicide bomber, Reacher recalls his military training, utilizing an 11-point system to make a decision on her threat level. But as he proceeds with the 11 steps, he realizes this is no false alarm. Just before he can help her, she dies by suicide by shooting herself. Shaken by the tragic incident, Reacher is determined to track down the woman's identity and who she might have been working for. But the NYPD is strangely determined to keep Reacher off of the case. Knowing Reacher, however, this won't deter him in the slightest. Reacher teams up with Detective Teresa Lee and the suicide bomber's brother, Jacob. Together, they learn that this case is much bigger than they thought, involving government officials and Afghan war veterans. So, what was the motive behind the woman, Susan's, suicide in the beginning of the book? Well, it turns out that Susan had acquired compromising information on a classified failed Afghanistan mission, no doubt leading her to fear for her life. It's possible that she thought Reacher was working for the Afghan government and was coming to take her into custody, where she would have no doubt been brutally tortured. In response, Susan decided to take her own life to avoid a fate worse than death. Now, Bin Laden isn't actually the primary antagonist behind the book. However, he is the reason behind the events of it. Essentially, there's a compromising photo of Bin Laden and former military officer John Samson out there in the world, so he goes on a mission to find it. It's pretty obvious why Samson wouldn't want this photo to get out, but we never actually learn why Bin Laden was so concerned about it as well. Although Reacher speculates that him fraternizing with an American would hurt his image as the head of a terrorist group. So the real threat to Jack Reacher in Gone Tomorrow is actually John Samson. But like I said, some believe that using Bin Laden as one of the villains in season 4 would seem pretty outdated. However, that doesn't mean a fictional terrorist couldn't be used to replace him. Aside from the obvious return of Alan Ritchson, we know for sure that season 4 will consist of almost an entirely new cast. Like previous seasons, Reacher finds himself in a new city, meaning he will encounter an all-new cast of characters. Sadly, Jay Baruchel will not be returning as Jacob Merrick. However, Jacob is slated to have a much bigger role in this season, according to Deadline, and is set to be played by Christopher Rodriguez Marquette. Considering Neagley is receiving her own spin-off series, we can't really expect to see her in season 4, meaning all we really know about the cast for season 4 is that Reacher and Jacob are a part of it. That's it. The behind-the-scenes photos from the set of season 4 aren't much of a help either, only showing Reacher and a female counterpart who was once known to be Teresa Lee in the books, but is named Tamara Green for some reason. Now that Reacher season 4 is filming, when can we expect a release date? Well, let's take a look at the timeline for the previous seasons to find the answer. Season 3 began filming in late 2023, wrapped in summer 2024, and then aired in February 2025. Should season 4 follow a similar schedule, we may have Reacher available on Amazon Prime as early as summer 2026. Reacher season 4 is finally filming. Considering it was delayed earlier in the year, I was pretty worried about when we get to see his next mission. Luckily, we may actually only be a few months away. Plus, the Neagley spin-off series is set to release New Year's Day, 2026. It may seem like we know exactly what's going to happen in season 4 of Reacher, but remember, when have TV adaptations been a copy and paste replica of their source material? Never. I think we can expect some new twists and turns to Lee Child's book in Jack Reacher's next mission. What did you think of these Reacher season 4 theories? Do you think referencing Bin Laden in the new season would date the series? How closely related to Gone Tomorrow do you think season 4 will be? Can we expect Neagley to make an appearance? And will this be the final season of Reacher? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more theories just like these. Thanks again for watching Screen Rant, and I'll see you in the next one.